What's up, everybody? Good morning. So it is exactly 1 week before my move. I can't see out my window. That's the first thing. Come on, clear up now. Clear up. It's a little bit cool out here in Orlando today. I got 1 week into my move, y'all. I am super stupid excited about it. And since I'm not actually putting this video up until the move happens, I can tell y'all right now, I got a house, child. I got a house, and I'm so excited because I literally have been ready to close for a couple weeks now. So I'm just gonna briefly tell y'all, I'm gonna forego my Spanish lesson this morning just to briefly tell y'all about, I don't even know why I'm lying. I ain't brief. I'm never brief. I'm gonna tell y'all about what happened, right? So most of y'all know my journey from St. Louis and why I decided to move. You need a quick reminder. Life in St. Louis was just no longer comfortable. I felt like I was in a pressure cooker, ready to explode at any moment. I was having nightmares about my family getting killed in a drive-by shooting. And I had it consecutively like 4 nights in a row. And that's what made me say, you know what, it's time for me to go, right? I had not planned on moving back to St. Louis after I left the first time, when I left for the military. I hadn't planned on moving back there. But I did move back to help, that was my original reason. My original reason when I moved back is because I was running from my mama. I'll tell y'all the truth. I had moved to Atlanta. And I got me a place to stay. And then I found out that my mama was following me to Atlanta. Now, we had just had issues. Well, not really issues, but her living with me in California wasn't what it was supposed to be. She wasn't even supposed to live there. I might have to tell y'all a story time about that another day. But anywho, so I was moving to Atlanta, and then I found out she was moving there. So I was like, nope, I ain't moving. So I ended up moving back to St. Louis. And my aunt needed some little help with some things. So I was like, fine, I can move back with her for a minute. But I had been living on my own, you know, for 4 years. So moving back into that household wasn't the lick. Okay. How did I get to that story? How did I go all the way back there? Where was I going with it? I don't even know where I was going with. Oh, how I ended up back in St. Louis. Lord Jesus, the little major. Okay, so then I got pregnant with my daughter. And I was like, I didn't want to move my daughter away from her father. And, you know, over time, that was a mistake as well, because, you know, he ended up not really being a participant in her life on the last few years of her life anyway. So, you know, I should have just left for me. Okay. But I didn't. So by the time she turned 5, I had decided I was going to get a house. Bought this house in St. Louis. Absolutely loved it. Did not realize that it was a money pit. Okay. Had so many issues going on with it. Then they had a storm hit. The roof got damaged. All kind of stuff went on with that house. And then the level of community deplenished in my neighborhood. Used to have a nice little community friendly vibe. Everybody knew each other, this, that, and the third. And then, you know, a lot of renters start moving in. People taking over the houses for their grandparents, and they don't give a fuck about it, things like that. So the neighborhood started going down, child. Started going down. I got robbed. I don't even know how many times. My house got broken into twice in one particular year. Was it the year I was moving? My house got broken into twice, or the year before? I think the year before. Because it was like Mother's Day, around Mother's Day, then it happened again in August of that year, then we got vetoed. Okay. No, I moved like 2 or 3 years later. Ooh, y'all can't see me because of the sun. Anywho. But that's what happened. We got vetoed for protection. But before we had got vetoed, the house started getting broken into twice. And after I moved, I found out that it was one of the guy who cuts my grass. He's the motherfucker that was breaking into my house. My neighbors had knew all along, even though during the time, I was like, okay, anybody got any information? And everybody was playing stupid after I fucking moved. And they gonna tell me, oh yeah, it was Larry that was breaking into your house. I was like, the motherfucker that's been cutting my grass? Okay, so Oh, we finna hit traffic. We are hitting traffic. We are hitting traffic. I just hope people behind me realize that we are hitting traffic. Okay, slow your monkey ass down. All right, so a lot of things was building up. Maybe they stole the air conditioning unit off my house. Not a window unit. They cut my AC unit off my house, y'all. Then I had a sinkhole develop in the backyard. I fell through the sinkhole. Y'all have to go back and watch my old Traveling Talk Tuesdays and get really caught up. But that's basically the summary of my life in St. Louis and why I was deciding to leave. With me and Keena was pointing out on the map places that we thought we wanted to go. We spinning the globe, you know, so to speak. We didn't literally spin a globe. Well, did we spin a globe? I think I spun a globe once, and boom. And so we went to a few cities. We went to, of course, I love LA because I used to live out there. Well, I love California. I used to live out there when I was in the military. I didn't necessarily want to live in LA, but I could live in the outskirts. But then I didn't think that I could afford to do so. So I scratched LA off my list. Keena likes New York. My bestie lives in New York. I can't stand the atmosphere, the vibe, the closeness in New York, the grit. I don't really like that. It makes me sad. It makes me depressed. Sometimes atmosphere and aura can change the way somebody thinks, right? So New York was off the list. So we started researching places that were similar in cost of living to where we were in St. Louis. Atlanta was on the list. What else was on the list? Atlanta was on the list. Lawton, Oklahoma was on the list. Phoenix, Arizona was on the list. Dallas, Texas was on the list. Vegas was on the list. Was it anywhere else? And then I was thinking South Carolina, but I had no idea where in South Carolina was on the list. These were places I was thinking about going to. I think New Orleans was on the list too. Places I was thinking about going to. A lot of things I chose to factor out why I wasn't living there. Traffic. Cost of rent. Because I wasn't thinking about buying a house. So I was thinking about the cost of rent and being able to afford to live there with my family. Because I had asked my mom to go with me. And then so it was going to be my mama, me, the dog, the cat. Okay. What else? Politics played a part in it. Weather played a huge part in it. I love the snow. I love seeing it. I love playing in it. I hate driving and working in it. And especially when that snow turns to slush and turns to ice and turns to sleet and all that other stuff, I was sick of it. I was done with it, right? So I didn't want to go anywhere that snowed too much. Because DC was on the list. So that's how DC got scratched out. So New York was definitely out as well for that reason as well. It wasn't just one reason, but okay. Vegas, it doesn't get a lot of snow, but it does snow there. But then Vegas gets super duper fucking hot too. And that hot is what ruled out Arizona, baby. We went to go visit Arizona. And Keena, she was in LA at the time. We met up at the airport and picked her up. And she got off the plane within 10 minutes. Her lotion was dripping off her skin. That's how hot it was. And it was 7 p.m. at night, baby. 7 p.m. at night. I did enjoy my time in Phoenix. But I'm telling you, before 7 a.m. was when I could enjoy the weather. Okay? And then everything looked the same. All the buildings, everything seemed to be brown. So there was no color variation that I was seeing. It was like the whole town was a desert sand color. And that included the people. The black people, the white people, the Asian people, the Latinos, whatever culture or race or generation of people. Everybody looked the same because of the way the sun was interacting with their skin, child. But I do know people that moved there that love it, that had a great sense of peace of mind while they was there. So Phoenix was still high up on the list. New Orleans, child, the hurricanes, the roaches, huge roaches. I didn't realize they had them like that here. But that was definitely a factor when I went to New Orleans and visited, because them merchants was out there. Hey, they was on the French Quarter dancing with me. That's the type of situation was going on with the damn roaches and stuff. So, and the spirits. Ooh, the spirits was getting to me in New Orleans, baby. You ain't got to be a believer, but I am, because I felt them joints. So, yeah, New Orleans would be a beautiful place for me to always go back and visit. That's about it right there. So, like I said, Keena had some friends in Florida, around the Orlando area. I started researching Orlando and the cost of living. I was like, it don't sound too bad. And it was like, when I looked at weather, rain was really like the biggest factor. Like, hurricanes come around it, but it really didn't hit Orlando like it does other cities. So I was like, maybe Orlando. So we came here, we came here in 2006 for Keena's birthday. We came back in 2018 for Keena's birthday. So I was like, we did like it there. My mama liked it there. So that was one of the places that we had visited. My mom was like, I'm going to move here. She said that back in 2006 that she was going to move to Orlando, So we said, okay, let's settle on Orlando. That move from St. Louis was fucking terrible. I gotta find my videos, y'all, because I didn't post them up, but y'all get to see the actual move, the turmoil, the stress, the shit that I went through. I mean, I cried. I cried me some rivers doing that damn move, because I was angry and I wanted to hurt people and lash out at people, but I was like, baby, hey. Love Fuller from Fit to Love Me, or I think she changed her channel to Live Fuller, Love Fuller, Love Fuller, Live Fuller. One of them two. She actually drove from Atlanta to St. Louis to help me pack up and move, because of the stress that I was having, baby. Talk about a friend. And I'm so sad that I have not been able to get in contact with her. Ever since like COVID really hit, we lost contact. I switched phones and I lost one of my phones. The phone that I had lost is the one that had my WhatsApp on it, and it had like my chat conversations, and I could reach out to it through that way. Because she don't answer her real phone, because I done texted her, I called, and she don't answer that mug. I say something too on YouTube without a response too, so I don't know. I hope she's doing well. She's one person that I really developed a friendship with, and I really, care about genuinely. Okay, so anywho, the move happened. We got to Orlando, hella stupid late, super duper late. Like I said, that'll all be shown and talked about in the other videos once I get those together and put them up for y'all. Okay, so we moved to Orlando. I was living in a hotel. Okay, I was working my ass off, a lot longer than what I was supposed to be working. I originally called. I contacted the person who's in charge here, and they told me, oh, you can keep your part-time hours. And not because I was just transferring employment. Thank God I was able to transfer my job. What was I finna say? So I was working super hella long hours, right? But I wasn't getting paid. I was not getting paid. I moved here September 14th of 2018. I didn't get my first paycheck until January of 2019, y'all. Okay, come on, State Trooper. You get in front of me so I can talk on this camera. I did not get my first paycheck until January 2019. It was from help of Anna LA, Wings and Mambo Sauce, and I want to say Cat Harlem, and Mike B. 4 YouTubers, or 4 of my family here on YouTube. They actually allocated me some funds to help me in my time of need. Like when I moved to Orlando, I had savings, but I was hitting by November. I was at the end of my savings, y'all, because I wasn't getting a paycheck. They have a paycheck coming in September to November. And you're like, why'd you quit? Keep working there. Well, fuck, if I quit, I still wouldn't have no damn money coming in. Right? I'm saying, so I might as well keep working, and one day I'm gonna get my damn money. I was getting my disability from the VA, so I had that plus my savings, and then they kicked me down some funds to help me make it. And 2 people at work, I didn't even know them, but had known them for like 3 months. They gave me a little something to like help me get gas in the car, things like that. Okay, so that's how I was able to survive. But by the time January hit, when my paycheck hit, I I had $13.12 in my bank account. That was it. And I didn't even know if that check was going to hit. And it finally hit, y'all. Oh, it was a moment. So, being that I didn't have no income, and me, my mama, the cat, and the dog was living in a one-room hotel room. Like, we didn't have no suite. Like, we had 2 separate rooms or whatever. There was times that I slept in the car, that Keena slept in the car, because we couldn't stand each other any longer. Keena was ready to give up and just, like, I can't even say run away from home because she's grown. She was 21 at the time. She was like, fuck it, I'm moving. I don't know where y'all going. I will find somebody to live with, but I can't live here with y'all no more. That's how she was feeling at the particular point in time. It's like something got to give. And something did. You know, we found us a place to live. And that's one reason why my bank account was depleting so much, because we found that place to live. And in October, the way Florida worked, I had to pay 3 times the amount of rent in order to move in. And that took all of my savings, but it had to be a roof over my head. You feel what I'm saying? Okay, so when I left St. Louis, y'all, a lot of people don't know this. I left. I abandoned my house. I didn't sell it. I didn't give it back to the bank. You know, I left. I had not paid my mortgage in 2 years before I left her. And you wondering how the fuck did I still have a house? Okay, so my mortgage on that house in St. Louis was $411 a month, y'all. That was it, $411 a month. And you know, I learned a little rule of thumb that if you pay extra towards your principal towards the year, then you know they help pay your house off faster. So I called myself doing that. Well, I was dealing with Bank of America at the time. I started off with Countrywide Home Loans. They sold me over to somebody else, and I ended up with Bank of America in the end. Well, Bank of America decided to allocate those excess funds that I was paying towards principal towards something else. They put it into escrow type of account. I forgot what the type of account was called, but it was a type of account that I could not pull the money back out. And they, what the fuck are y'all doing? They put the money where they wanted to, and they wasn't applying it towards my mortgage. When I had the insurance situation going on with the house, you know, I told you the roof had got damaged. I was misled into believing the insurance policy that I bought was going to be the best for me through AAA. I would not recommend them to get homeowners insurance through it at all. So, AAA. So my roof damage came out to be like $24,000 worth of damage on the roof. Because of the type of policy, which was basically a depreciated value type of policy, I only got a $9,000 check to fix a $24,000 damage worth of roof, which of course I couldn't fix. Nobody was going to fix my roof for $9,000. So because of that, I kept getting more damage to the house itself. Like, I think I still got pictures. I know I got some kind of, I probably got video or something, of the way the wall looked in the living room. There was so much mold and mildew buildup in the ceiling. The tiles was popping off the walls in the bathroom. Y'all probably seen that in some of my videos. And it was because the moisture building up in the walls because of the leaking that was going on in the roof, or the parts of the roof that I couldn't fix. So, but when that happened, since they paid out that $9,000, AAA doubled my doggone homeowner's insurance. I didn't get a notification that my homeowner's insurance was going to increase. My homeowner's insurance was supposed to be paid until October. They started paying it in August. So I don't know when it started, because for some reason my month shifted, and they sent money in August. And so Bank of America took the money out of this mystery account that I didn't know I had and put the money towards their increased policy instead of giving me the opportunity to search for a new homeowner's insurance policy that I just didn't know that the policy was increasing like that. And I'm none the wiser because all my money is coming out of escrow. You know what I'm saying? I had my mortgage set up where it was automatically paying out of my bank account. Okay. The bank account I have, I never have my payments come out of the same account that I'm using every day because I don't want my checks to bounce, stuff like that. Well, so I had like a certain amount of money in my accounts to cover the mortgage in excess, in a small excess. Well, when the homeowner's insurance doubled, that increased my mortgage to over $1,000. So now they're withdrawing $1,000 out of my account instead of the $411. I'm none the wiser because I ain't looking at this account because everything's going automatic. My shit is in the negative. In the negative like a motherfucker, baby. In the negative like a motherfucker. And again, Bank of America wouldn't transfer that money that I had already previously paid because they put it in an escrow type account. They wouldn't transfer it over to the balance, which I had the money in there to cover it. When I found out about it, y'all, it was like 4 months later, I got a foreclosure notice. And I'm like, what the fuck am I getting foreclosed on for? That's why if you have like automatic online accounts, pay attention to that shit, baby. Because you never know what type of you set those type of accounts up and you thinking that you scot-free, you ain't got to worry about nothing because they pulling money out and you ain't got to worry about paying the bill. There could be situations, accounting errors and things like this going on that's fuck you up, and it really fucks up your financial, ability to do anything. So I was in the negative in my bank accounts. My homeowner's insurance was sky fucking rocking high. I actually found out I couldn't even change it. Why? Because I tried to switch over to another company and they asked me about the claim. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, I'm telling you about the claim. Of course, that's already going to make my insurance rate high because I just filed a claim within the last 3-5 years, right? But the fact that I did not fix that roof, I got a check for $9,000 to fix $24,000 worth of damage. And because I didn't fix the roof entirely, they said I was committing insurance fraud, which made me uninsurable with other companies. So I was steady going into a hole. So I was like, my mindset, which wasn't the best mindset, was like, fuck Bank of America. That's how I was feeling, right? So I applied for a hardship. They told me I couldn't get the hardship because I made too much damn money. All right, so then I went through, my hours got cut at work. All this happened within a 6-month period. The damage to the roof, the excess payments being misapplied, the homeowner's insurance increasing, my bank account going into negative, and then I got denied a hardship because I made too much money, and right after that, my hours got cut at work. I was making a third of what I was making. A third, y'all. A third. So all my reserves that I had in that one account was gone. Gone because I'm in the negative now, right? So I went back to the Urban League in St. Louis and applied for assistance that way. Okay. And the first time I did it, they said, well, you've already been rejected once, you don't qualify. So I had to go show paperwork and this, that, and third of why I qualified now. And the whole process started over again. So we about a good year now into me, where the process has started with me being in the negative and being behind and everything. But because I was using the Urban League, it was holding up the foreclosure proceedings. So that's a year going through. Then I got denied the third time. I got denied again because my income was right now, but they didn't understand the large payments that was coming out of my account. I was like, fuck, the payments are coming to y'all. Y'all automatically withdrawing it. So I stopped payments again. Because I'm still in the negative, but they still was taking money. I cut everything off. I stopped all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Stopped it all. And I had like a timeshare it didn't go through properly. They had a lawsuit with the timeshare people. I never did get paid for that. They ended up filing a class action bankruptcy against us, so we all got like $3.12, and I never got the $3.12 because all that money went to the lawyer. Child. So, I'm basically going through all these things over and over again with Urban League, having to refile documents, explain why this money going here, why that money going there, why I ain't paying this, doing that third. And they was asking me, did I want to sell the property? At the particular time, I didn't. I wanted to stay in my house and fix it up. I was like, no, I don't want to sell my shit. I was like, this is my first house. You know, I bought this house for my baby. And even with all the problems, I was like, if I can get back on track, then I can, you know, get the house fixed up the way, you know, and then make it livable again. So I started working at a newspaper where I was throwing newspapers in the yard. I liked that job and I hated that job at the same time. So when I first started it, then I had a business route, baby, and business route. I was making like $2G a week. I was making $2G a week. And I was starting to, then I had car issues, baby. I had to pay for some repairs. That cost me another, $7,000 for my car repairs. So the money I was making from the newspaper place, gone real quick, right? And then I was having trouble sleeping because I had to be at the newspaper at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I didn't finish my newspaper route until like 7 o'clock in the morning. I had to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning. I was burnt out. I was driving and I was almost crashing. So I had to switch newspaper routes from the business route to a residential route, which paid a lot less money, but I was there a lot less time. And I was able to catch up on some other things, not the mortgage, because at this point in my mind, I was still like, fuck Bank of America. Because even though Urban League was helping me, they still had to get approval through Bank of America. Had my student loans going on, debts and stuff. I had all that stuff going on at the same time as well. Student loan in the home was the only major things I was fighting, with the exception of I had Capital One debt, had to go to court from that. I did win my case against Capital One, and that's only because their lawyer kept postponing and kept not showing up. And I was like, talking to the judge, I was like, if that was me and I didn't come to court and I didn't show up, y'all would have automatically placed these charges upon me. So why do they get afforded the same? They don't get, no, they don't have the same thing where they should be dismissed because these motherfuckers ain't showing up. They the ones that suing me. You know what I'm saying? So, and the debt that I had with them was legit. Who else I got sued by? Was Capital One and I don't remember who else. Then I went to jail. So when I went to jail, I lost a lot of income, baby. How many times did I go to jail? I lost income. 2 of my things was back to back. I was losing income. Luckily, I didn't lose my job at the time because I had the type of job I had. Like I said, I used to be able to call somebody and say, "Hey, can you go to work for me?" And that's normally how the shit work. But for some reason, they don't let us do that here in Orlando. But like somebody would show up for work for me and they would cover my shift, and it was all good to the gravy. So for 2 months, I was in jail. Nobody knew I was in jail except for the person that was covering my ass. Except for at the IRS. I was at the IRS too. I did tell my supervisor there I was at the IRS, but when I got out of jail, she told them that she was scared to be around me, that I intimidated her, that my presence, was terrifying. She was a Karen type of motherfucker, right? So that's how I ended up quitting the IRS that year. I think I ended up quitting the IRS that year. Well, I lasted another year there. But at the same time, I was still working the same job I'm doing now. I was doing both at the same time. So anyway, right before my move, I told my daughter, I was like, I had a nightmare that I came home one day and our house was completely boarded up. There was a eviction notice on the door, and the animals was trapped inside. You was trapped inside, right? And I was having that nightmare, and then like a week later, we had an eviction notice on our damn door. 2 years of me not paying rent, right? But they sold the house at an auction for like $11,000. Because the one thing too, Bank of America was saying, for some reason, my house was only $69,000 when I bought it. They kept saying I hadn't paid no money on this damn house. And I know you usually pay off the interest first, but I had been there 15 fucking years. I know I had paid. I was paying on the principal. But they ended up paying me to move. The people who bought the house paid me to move out the house as long as I cleaned it up for them. So that's why I was like in such dire need when I was getting ready to move. And then I ended up here in Florida. And then I started looking for a house for 2 years in Florida because I had to wait for that foreclosure to come off my shit. I started looking for a house, went through 7 fucking realtors, 5 got doggone lenders, baby, and finally in December I got accepted for an offer for a house. So if y'all my members, y'all have seen the damn house because I showed them, but y'all ain't my members. But let me get off here because I'm at work. I will talk to y'all to get another video. Okay, so now that I'm parked, I'm gonna give y'all a proper thing. I'm at work. Thank y'all for watching. I'll come back with the rest of some more updates and some more information about what's really going on with the house and where I'm at now, because some more shit has popped off since closing day. So I'll explain to y'all the closing day process and all that stuff. And you know, the last month before I got ready to close, I'll explain to y'all that. See y'all in the next video. Peace.